You are being watched right now, not by a person, not by a camera, by your own brain. At this exact moment, a part of your nervous system is quietly scanning your environment for threats, checking the shadows at the edge of your vision, cataloging every sound you didn't consciously register, measuring the distance between you and the nearest exit. You didn't ask it to. You can't tell it to stop. It has been doing this every second of every day since you were born, and it was doing it for hundreds of thousands of years before you existed. Your brain still thinks you're being hunted, and the strangest part? It's not broken. It's not a glitch in the system. It is the system, one of the most sophisticated survival machines ever assembled by evolution, running exactly the code it was built to run. The problem is that the world it was built for no longer exists. Picture the savannah, open grassland stretching in every direction, broken up by clusters of acacia trees and low rocky outcroppings. The sky is enormous. The wind moves the grass. Your ancestor, let's call him what he was, a Homo sapiens who looked almost exactly like you, is moving quietly through that landscape. He's scanning, always scanning. His eyes make tiny, involuntary movements called saccades, sweeping the horizon at a rate he has no conscious control over. His ears are tilted slightly, the muscles in them adjusting without his awareness. His heart rate is slightly elevated. It always is, out in the open. This is not paranoia. This is competence. Because in that environment, the cost of missing a threat was death. The cost of a false alarm was nothing, a moment of stress, a little wasted energy, a short sprint away from something that turned out to be a shadow. Neuroscientist Joseph Ledoux spent decades studying this exact asymmetry. He called it the low-road response. The brain routes potential threat information directly to the amygdala, your brain's alarm center, before the thinking parts of your brain even know what's happening. It is faster than conscious thought. It was designed to be. That response fires inside you right now. Not sometimes, constantly. Think about the last time you heard a loud noise behind you. Before you knew what it was, your shoulders were already up, your breath was already held, your stomach had already dropped. That happened in approximately 12 milliseconds, faster than you can blink, faster than sound can travel across a room. Your amygdala processed the threat and launched a full-body response before your prefrontal cortex, the part of you doing the thinking right now, had received so much as a whisper of information. You didn't decide to be afraid. Fear decided for you. Anthropologist Daniel Lieberman at Harvard has spent years studying what he calls evolutionary mismatch, the collision between the biology we inherited and the environment we've built. The body you are living in right now was shaped by roughly 2 million years of human and pre-human evolution. Modern civilization, in the grand sweep of that timeline, is almost nothing. Agriculture appeared about 12,000 years ago. Cities, a few thousand years after that. The internet, less than a lifetime ago. Your genome hasn't had time to catch up. The threat detection system that kept your ancestors alive on the savannah is now running in a world of email inboxes and traffic jams and social media comment sections. And it cannot tell the difference. This is the part that changes everything. Your amygdala does not distinguish between a predator and a performance review. The neural pathway that fires when you glimpse movement in the dark is the same pathway that fires when someone gives you a cold look across a conference room. The threat was physical for 2 million years. Now it's social, financial, digital. But the body's response, the elevated cortisol, the tightening chest, the narrowed attention, is identical. You are running ancient software on modern hardware in a world the software was never designed for. Researcher Alia Crum at Stanford has studied what happens when people understand this about themselves, when they recognize that their stress response is not a weakness but an evolutionary tool running in an inappropriate context. What she found challenges almost everything the wellness industry tells you. The stress itself is not the problem. The way you interpret the stress determines nearly everything about what it does to your body. Your ancestors didn't have the luxury of reframing their stress. When the lion appeared, there was no reframe. There was only run. But you have something they didn't. The capacity to look at your own threat response and understand what it is. Most people never do. Instead, they live inside the alarm without ever questioning it. The background hum of low-grade threat that many people call anxiety, the constant, vague sense that something is wrong, that you need to check your phone, that you might be missing something, that something could go wrong at any moment, that is your Savannah detection system running in overdrive with nothing to detect. Think about what distraction actually is. You are trying to read, or work, or rest, and something at the edge of your attention keeps pulling your focus away. A sound, a movement, a notification. This is not a failure of willpower. This is your ancient threat scanner doing its job with ruthless efficiency. It was built to notice novelty. Novelty on the Savannah meant change, and change on the Savannah meant potential danger. So your brain hijacks your attention every time something new enters the environment. The notification ping that you can't ignore? It exploits the same neural circuit that kept your great-great-great ancestor alive in a landscape where ignoring a sound could get you eaten. But here is where it gets stranger still. Because the system isn't just defensive, it's predictive. Neuroscientist Lisa Feldman Barrett has argued, controversially and with substantial evidence, that your brain is not actually reacting to the world around you. It is predicting it, constantly and largely unconsciously. Your brain is generating a model of what is about to happen based on everything that has happened before, and then comparing incoming sensory data against that prediction. What you experience as seeing, hearing, feeling, all of it is actually your brain's best guess, updated in real time. Your threat detection works the same way. Your brain has threat predictions running at all times. It has learned, through a lifetime of experience layered on top of 2 million years of evolutionary memory, what kinds of situations tend to be dangerous. It applies those predictions before you consciously register anything. This is why certain things feel wrong before you can say why. The creaking floorboard. The too quiet street. The person who smiled with their mouth but not their eyes. Your predictive brain flagged these before your conscious mind had time to form a sentence about them. You are living inside a threat model that was last substantially updated on the Savannah. And here is the final counterintuitive twist. This system, the one that makes you anxious, that fragments your attention, that floods your body with cortisol over an unanswered email, this system is also the reason you're still here. Every person alive today is a direct descendant of ancestors who were better than average at detecting threats. The ones who were cavalier about it, who didn't flinch, who didn't scan, who didn't feel the low hum of vigilance, they were eaten. They were caught. They didn't pass on their genes. You are the biological product of 10,000 generations of the most paranoid, most vigilant, most threat-sensitive humans who ever lived. Your anxiety is your inheritance. It kept your line alive. Knowing this doesn't make the anxiety go away, but it changes what you do with it. When the alarm fires, when your shoulders climb toward your ears and your stomach clenches and something that isn't there feels like a threat, you can recognize it for what it is. Not a malfunction, not a weakness. An ancient system doing its job in a world it wasn't built for. Tonight, when you check your phone one more time before bed, when you lie awake running through a conversation that happened 6 hours ago, when a quiet house makes the back of your neck prickle for no reason you can name, remember what you actually are. You are a scanning system that learned to ask questions about itself. And somewhere out on the Savannah, in the long dark before fire and cities and everything that came after, your ancestors were doing the exact same thing you are doing right now, staring into the shadows, waiting for what might be there, kept alive by the very fear that never quite lets them rest.